All right. I think I am live. Yes, I am. Oh, got that excellent connection, baby. Oh, come on now. Oh, sorry. Whew. All right. How's it going, viewer? Which I think is myself. But how's it going, me? Yeah. I'm doing good. Thanks for asking. That's what happens whenever I had no human contact for days. Let's see here. I was doing something, but I forgot. Oh, yes, that's right. Well, where am I? Guess I'm just going to search for myself. All right. Hopefully everybody's having a great day on this just unprecedented day, right? Like just what's going on with the world and all, and the stock market and GME, and well, I definitely bought into some of it too, but I didn't buy GME. I bought AMC, and then also bought some silver. And my silver has actually went up 12%, which I'm pretty happy about. Yeah, 12.5 actually. Wow. Keep on rising. Thank you. All right, so anyway, let's go back to our developing. We were developing a course creator page, and we built it all the way out to the login, just going over the docs.spring.io as far as how to put in Spring security. So we're going to, see here, continue with following along with Spring security, and then we're going to just, continue on, just working, building up our site, and if somebody wants to jump in, say hello, or whatever case may be, awesome. Glad to have them, right? All right, let's see here. So how far did we get? So we have our login page, and I assume we have our auth controller with auth login. Okay. See, enable web MVC. What is that? View controller registry. Add view controllers. That's Yeah, that's not how I want to implement what I'm going to do, but that's fine. That's what they want to do for certain. Alright, let's continue. Let's see here. Yeah, so we did that, and then we did the login view. The URL we submit, yeah, URL, okay. TimeLeaf does that. Automatically adds CSRF token. That's quite nice. Because I don't see anything about a CSRF token. And, well, I know I haven't messed around with it yet as far as, adding on the security of the site. It's definitely pretty important stuff. You don't want cross-site attacks and all that good jazz. No buenos. Let's see here, grant access to remaining resources. Alright, so we need to make sure it allows access to any resources. So it's saying we need to grant access permission to view our remaining resources, so things that are within here. So you would not have to I'm not sure if that entirely makes sense that I want to do that. I guess that's fine. We'll do it for now, and if it seems like it's going to be bad later, we'll check it out. All right, so okay, so we get the HTTP, and then we authorize request for URL authorization. That's what it looks like. Okay. All right, so excuse me. For doing permit all any requests. Guess maybe that's why I don't have any CSS working on this page. I don't know. All right. just gotta put a comma. There you go, yeah. I'm just gonna do log out to permit all. We already did that, okay. Is that it? Did we finish the documentation? That's as far as it's going to let us go. Does it say did it create a username, user, and password? Let's find out. All right, let's refresh our project here then. Let's see if it worked. I hope it did. Refresh this here login page, right? Said user and password, invalid username and password. Okay, so I have this password here that it created. Did it create one called? Boom, and we're in. Nice. Well, that's really cool. We'll have to put some, kind of stipulations. Oh, didn't we though? So like, we could go to. Can we go to /logout? Well, that should be like a form input. You just click it and we send the user data and it just logs us out. But if I close that and reopen it, oh, wrong one. That's another site that I am working on. I'm surprised it's even running at the moment on that server. Now, from here, let's see here. Let's go to, do I have anything that I can just, do I have anything in our index controller? Like course creator welcome. So let's go to /course creator welcome. There you go. Nice. That works great, actually, because I want them to log in whenever, if they're going to go to this area. So that is awesome. All right, so it looks like dirt, but I honestly don't care at the moment. If anybody who comes in here who's a designer who wants to help me design this site at some point, that's would be awesome. If not, don't care at the moment. We'll get to it when we get to it, right? So now that we have our login stuff working, we'll need to continue. So we're going to have to create models for the stuff that we're going to be saving to the database. We need to create our connection with, I think it's JDBC, and then we need to do all the stuff that we're going to do with JPA, but we're going to be doing it with Postgres, and it's kind of similar to MySQL, I guess. I'm not really familiar with it personally. I've just started using it, but I know Heroku uses it, so we're definitely going to be using Postgres for that until we get I don't know where I was going with that. Just until we get whatever. Who cares? All right, let's move on. Okay. So what do I want to move on to next anyway? I could work on the builder part, right? Like, or I could work on the back end. You know, let's work on the back end some. Let's create our, so we have our controllers, we have our views. So now we need, like I said, our model. So for that, we'll call it, well, I'm trying to figure out, I want to stay consistent. Yeah, let's call it models. Okay. That's what I thought I did. Just make sure. So models. And then within here, the first model that I like to create is a base entity model. And this model, other classes that we're going to create, other data models that we're going to attach to is going to be based off of this base entity model. And you'll see why later on if we're like doing, or it'll make sense later on as we attach it to it and start messing around with the database and whatnot. You'll see it all come together at some point. But so for now, let's go ahead and create a new Java class. We'll call it base entity. And now our base entity, we're going to be using Lombok. Now, we haven't really much talked about Lombok yet, but Lombok allows us to create a lot of stuff that, or with like a single line of code, will create stuff for us that we just don't need to mess around with. So what I'm talking about is if we created this public class or this private base entity, we need a UUID for our ID, right? And then we'll alt enter just to put that in there. And then we'll also need maybe well, I'm not sure yet, but at the moment, everything we know is going to need an ID. So, in order for us that whenever like we want to create this class, we need to have our constructor, right? And if we don't set a constructor, we get this. Java will create a constructor that has no parameters for us, so it'll just be like a base entity. Nothing, which is kind of serious, but we don't need to use that. We'll have Lombok is going to help us with some of that. So and it can help us create our getters and setters. So we're going to create to create getters. We just do @getter, and you'll see our annotation here right next to the word it says Lombok. It's just Lombok's creating all our getters, and we can actually use it to do all of our setters as well. And then we can create a no args constructor, and then an all arguments constructor, and then we can also do mapped. No, that's what is map superclass? Because I know I want it. It's JavaX persistence. What does that do? Java mapped superclass. Designates a class whose mapping information is applied to the entities that inherit from it. Oh, okay. So as classes implement this other class, or implement this this class, it's going to have, it's going to be taking the private, the UUID and all that stuff. It's going to be using it. I feel like I'm explaining this terribly, but that's basically it. All right, so we want to specify, though, that this is our ID with JavaX persistent. So we'll do that. And then we need to use the @generated value and we can pass it the generator, and then which is just a string, which we say the UUID 2. We can actually look that up to see, get a bit more information about that, because I don't think I'm as familiar with that as I should be. So generated value, yeah, JPA. So I know generated value, I'm pretty sure, I think it's just going to generate a value, and the generator that we're passing to it is the type of is the type that we want. Well, I don't see anything in their documentation, but I know that this is how we're going to want to set this up whenever you go and build a add this to Heroku for deployment later on. So I am going to add another, and I'm just going to copy and paste this from off screen. Add one more annotation where we give it the name and then the strategy there. So with that, like I said, now we don't have to create a constructor or anything like that, because it's all done for us through all that good jazz. And we're probably going to add to this. We won't add too much, but we're going to add a little bit. But so the other model that I would want to create is a user model. But we're going to have like multiple different kinds of users, but the same kind of information across the ones, or like, because you're going to have the user that wants to just view the content, right? And then you're going to have the user that wants to, create the content. So with those two things in mind, we should be looking at how we can create our database structure in such a way that makes sense. I feel like they should only have to create an account once, and if they want to create a creator account, they can just do a small update to that account, and that should be it. That should be pretty easy. So we'll do, so we'll just create a class of user, and I'm going to go back over to the base entity and grab the getters and setters and all that stuff. Pass it over, and this needs to... one thing I missed in this, we also need to implement serializable. Implements serializable. that'll be something for later. Serializability of a class is enabled by the class implementing the Java.io.serializable interface. Warning: deserialization of untrusted data is inherently dangerous and should be avoided. Untrusted data should be carefully validated according to the serialization and deserialization section of the dot describes best practices for defensive use of serial filters. So that's cool. So we'll be getting into that later on. But that for now is our base entity setup that we want. So we want to... We're going to be extending the base entity. So extends base... Oh, no. Extends base entity. So make sure you're doing your models. So mine's column.shadedevelops.courseCreator.models. That's the correct one. And then I want... Let's see here. Well, first I want to specify columns. Did I do that in base entity? And did I even need to? I don't think I do. I think that's just automatic. If not, I'll update it later, but I don't think I need to do that to update this to put a column here, and you'll see what I'm about to do. So we add column, and this is just gonna, whenever we do our database stuff, this is gonna be like, hey, I am the column, or for this piece of information, create a column with this name. So it'll be column name equals email, or actually, you know what? Let's do fname and private string fname. Yeah, we'll do that. And we also can set our table name that we want for this. So it could be table name equals users. So we could do fname, and then copy and paste this for last name. And then email. In fact, I got that just right up here on another page. Yeah, so whenever you're coding, it's totally fine to have up like another project that you built this shit on, especially if you're still like trying to, you know, make sure you're keeping with that you're coding the same way over and over again. To, you know, so it's readable to you. You know, there's structure to it, that kind of thing. Or if you don't have great coding practices, you're implementing better coding practices each time that you build upon, you know, your projects. But so far, I feel like my coding practices are fairly okay. Unless, I mean, sure, somebody else probably like telling me I'm garbage, but whatever, I don't care. I think I'm pretty decent. All right, so first name, last name, email. What else do we want to add? That would be something for a user. We definitely want to add like maybe user type, right? Something like that. By user type, I mean whether or not they're in the session. If they weren't logged in, they would just be a guest. But whether or not they're a customer or a email logged in customer, or one that's there to create courses customer, either one of those. Is what I meant there whenever I mean type. Do I want to use the word type? I don't know if I like that. I don't know if I have a better word for it either. Oh, hey Tammy, how you doing? I just saw you. How'd you even know I went live? Oh, probably because you're on my thing. Wasn't paying any attention to. Hey, but thanks for watching. I appreciate it. All right, let's continue moving. Oh, by the way, if you're still here, you've been looking at the market. I invested in some silver and it's up quite a bit. Right now it's about 12% up, which is pretty nice. I don't know if it's going to stay there or whatever. I understand the economies or with GameStop and all that stuff. It's pretty crazy. Fun times. All right, anyway, we're going to keep going, building our project out. Let's see here. Yeah, I guess type will work. Really? I'm just not 100% sure. All right, well, anyway. Leave it at that for now. At some point, we'll need addresses and stuff if they're going to be course creators. I don't really think we need that information right now, especially not if I want to get in here and get in testing this stuff. It's less work for creating an MVP. All right, so we have our user with our model. You know, we need to create our database connection. We're going to do that with JDBC. So let's go ahead and there's something else open it up here. All right, so for our connections, I think it's the JDBC that makes our connection to the database. And we'll need to do that by also setting up like a repository, not to be confused with a suppository. It's definitely not the same thing. And we'll do that, and we'll create our CRUD repository and all that good stuff. So let's go ahead and right-click here and create a new package. We'll call it repositories. And we'll do a new Java class user repository. This time we're going to create an interface because we're not going to put in the code. We're just going to tell whatever implements this interface what methods that we want it to implement. So that way, if we use this repository or this interface on other classes, they're all going to be the same, and we know that. But it's not actually too much that we're going to be doing with this one, except for we're going to extends our CRUD repository, and it wants a what was that shake for? He's sleeping hard. All right, it wants a generic, and then it wants the I believe it's the ID that for the generic. So our generic is going to be, yeah, okay, so see, Yeah, it wants our generic, which is T, and then the ID of the generic. So we'll do our generic is user, and then our ID is UUID. And that's actually it. We shouldn't have to do much more with this file itself. All right, so like I said, we're also going to need a services. Oh my goodness, I've been putting all this in the wrong spot. So we're about to refactor the models and repositories. Repositories. Make sure I said that right. I don't know. I feel like I'm saying it way wrong. And then we're also going to take the services and we're going to move it up from the web and into our data module. So it should just be nothing more than to I need to create the com.shadedevelops.course creator. Let's see here. So new directory, and I can't create packages here. That's interesting. Yeah, this should be fine. Package is nothing more than a directory. So we'll do here com.shadedevelops.course creator. Can I split that? Build that module. What happens if I do that? Huh. Oh, I've had a bit of a lag in my brain. All right, so that's there was a way that you could break this up by the dots, and I wonder if I can copy. Delete that and then paste. Definitely delete that. I don't know if I want to safe delete that though. That might break the program. Let's find out. I'm gonna stop and rerun that. Okay, broken, but not in the same way. It was probably going to break anyway. Okay, cool. Cool. So now we just need to get rid of out of here. Let's see here. We don't need models and repositories. Do we need secure? Yeah, we do need security. What is yeah, we need security. But we don't need models and repositories, so we can delete these two. And then on here, we don't need controllers and security, so we can delete those. Java file outside of source root. I don't know if that's going to be an issue or not later. Guess we'll find out. I'm gonna Google that. What does that mean? I mean, I get what it means, but Java file outside source root. It says right click the POM file in the root directory and set add as Maven project. Maven, I could reload the project. Maybe that'll do something. Oh, I got happy there for a minute. How do I add this to the project? Okay. File, what does this guy say? Project structure, that makes sense. And then from here, then go into modules and removing all files from the root using the X marks. Modules, okay. And removing all files from the root using the X marks. So what is under web? Jpa. Sorry if you guys hear that, just moving around. Dog jumped out behind me, so getting comfortable. 'Cause I haven't been, really. You know, somebody just said click on Maven. And then click that button right there. No? Oh, and then click on the refresh button. Yeah, I've done that. It doesn't work. So file, project structure, modules, sources. Where do I need to add a source? Delete a source? So I just delete the whole thing? Delete the module? If I delete the module, does it delete the project? That's not something I want to do. You know what? Let's find out. No files will be deleted on disk, but it will delete the only module in the project. Wait, maybe hold on. Maybe I don't want to do that. And then marked Java files directory as sources. Oh, over here. Oh. Sources. Is that enough to do it? Apply, hit OK. Oh man, It did. Well, I have also broken something else. That's alright though, we can fix it. I hope. Let's see. Why you want back up here again? I figured it's too good to be true. Come on. Good boy. See, sometimes you can jump up here on your own. I don't know why you can't all the time, but whatever. Alright. Hey, I've only been streaming 46 minutes. That's not too bad. What do I want to do? Which one of these do I want to click on for whatever? Choose destination directory. Wait, well, course creator data, com.shay develops. Java.com, she develops course creator. Yeah, I mean, that's where it goes. What about, where's the related problem? Oh. Wait. Gotcha. I can just erase this one pretty much. Delete. And now this should still fail, honestly. I don't care about if Jupyter API does not exist. Do I? I don't know. Application.test that. Where's this test at? Doesn't exist. Probably not in the POM file. Let's see here. Yeah, it doesn't look like I put that in the POM file. Honestly, who cares? I'm just gonna comment it out for now. because we're not running any tests. I just want to make sure my stuff is looking good. It's working as intended. Nice, it's all looking good. Can still log in. And it takes me to the course creator welcome. Nice. I don't even remember setting that up, but good stuff. Oh no, or was I? Oh, that's right, because I was trying to go there, and it takes you back to whenever you were, the page you were previously on. So awesome. That's cool. Totally fine by me. Whew. All right. I don't really like this Rockstar drink that I got for free, but I got it for free. Now it's a drink. And I opened it, so I'll finish it sometime, I guess. It's not the best. Alright. I think I kind of want to make some waffles later. That would be pretty nice. All right, moving on. Now that that's working, everything's looking good. Let's, what do I want to do? Oh yeah, I still need to add a buttload more stuff. Oh, I lost my service. Oh, well. I have to rebuild that again. All right, so new package. We'll call it repositories, because that's gone now. Whatever. It's not a big deal. It's super easy to make, right? Let's make it again. Close that. You know what? I'm just going to close all. Close all tabs. There we go. All right, new Java class. We'll call it user repository. And our repository just extends the CRUD repository. Just allows us to create, read, update, delete through the JPA, I believe. Gonna look into that more, but it's definitely going to be an interface, and it's going to extend the CRUD repository that, like I said earlier, it takes and I want to call it an organic, but it doesn't take an organic. It takes a generic and then the ID of the generic. So our generic is going to be user, and our ID is UUID. And let's alt enter to fix that. Now it's doubly broken. Yes, that's the user I want. UUI double D for your double dose of use. Yeah, bad joke. All right. And yeah, that's it for the repository there. So now that's done. The other thing we're going to need is another package, and this is going to be services package, and this is gonna be more like actually manipulation of the data, right? So let's go ahead and create a CRUD service interface, and so that way we can do CRUD servicey things later to it. I know that makes all the sense in the world, but you'll see at a point. So back to our services, we're going to right click, new, and create a child class, and we're going to call this our CRUD service, and it's going to be an interface. And our interface, we want to do the same TID here. So basically we're mimicking the our repository. And then we can do set. Make sure we import that class. Java.util.set. We don't need the mapping class. And the set, though, we want it to find all. So basically we just want it to find all of whatever object. So that's why we use the generic, because we want it to like I said, be able to work with multiple objects that we're going to attach this CRUD service to. So basically, like I said, create, read, update, delete, but it's more than a little bit more than that. So then in our next object, we're going to do find by ID, and we'll pass it the ID, which in our case is going to be a UUID, but in Java's case, it just kind of it has a superclass of ID that it can pass here. All right, so let's continue on with save. We're going to want to save, pass it T object info there, and we'll have two functions that will need to be created whenever this CRUD service is implemented, in which we were deleting the object and deleting the object by ID, which will pass the ID. Okay. And that should be it for the CRUD services. Or for the CRUD service. Now, we're going to need a service for our user. So we're going to create a user service. This is also going to be an interface. And we're going to extend the CRUD service that we've already created. And we're going to pass it user, and we're going to pass it the UUID that we need to implement there. And that's it for now. Okay, there we go. We will have to come up here and update this later, but that's it for now. All right. And now we need to do what JPA does. So let's take a look at a little bit of something. So let's look up Spring Boot services. I got all these tutorials and stuff. Trying to build a RESTful web service. Service components are the class file which contains @service annotation. These class files are used to write business logic in a different layer separated from the @rest controller class file. The logic for creating a service component class file is shown here. We'll be building that on our own, so no reason to worry about that. All right, so back to our services. We need to, like I said, create a way to interact with these services and how, well, basically state how these services are going to be implemented and used in our application. So for that, I'm going to create a new package. I'm going to just call it Jpa. And we'll do a new Java class. We'll do user Jpa. And it's going to implement the user service. And we're getting this error now because we need to implement all the methods. Find all, find by ID, save, delete, delete by LD. So here's actually, I said we were creating all these interfaces and stuff earlier to allow for us to then come in here and now finally create our user JPA and their user service. So if we wanted to create another user service or another service real quick for, say, our courses, which we will need to create another service for courses, we're going to do that. We can then just throw that CRUD service onto that and then just come in here, create a new JPA for that course creator, and then implement the new service that we've created, and it'll allow us to just have it'll expect a certain all these certain methods to be created, giving our code, flow isn't the right word, but just a bit more structure in the creation of it, with Java. And there's more to it with Java than what I'm explaining. I feel like I've kind of forgotten the words to it, but anyway, we're gonna move on. So the first thing we said we want to do is we could create, or we could build out these user JPA things, but at the moment we actually, I don't think we can just yet. Well, no, we should be able to. All right, so the first thing I said we want to do is we want to be able to find by ID. So we can do set, because we're also returning a set. So we want to create a set of user and call it users equals a new hash set. And I like to create an empty hash set, because if you don't, you go to start to saving on this, you can get some issues and whatever. So I just always like to, whenever I create a set, I like to save it into a new and empty hash set that I'm starting out with. So then we need to, we need to implement our person repository, our user repository, excuse me. All right, so let's do that first. Let's add private final, because these things are not going to change. We're going to call it user repository, and then we'll have to create a constructor, because that's what it's whining about right there. Add constructor parameter. Boom. And it just created our constructor for us, which is nice, all good. Now the next thing we're going to want to do is add our user repository dot find all, and then for each one that it found, we're going to take users, and we're going to use this double colon. And this is, like I said, because we're coding in Java here, this isn't like this isn't JavaScript or HTML or anything. This isn't like a basic language. Java is a fairly advanced language. and it allows you to do a lot of amazing stuff. That's why I like to use it, because you can use Java to code in almost everywhere, which is pretty nice. So like once you learn Java and how to manipulate it and work and whatnot, it's got uses all over the place. So it's why I enjoy it so much. All right, so users, and we're going to give it the function of add. Boom. And then we're going to return users. I forget what that double colon notation is, though. I want to Java double colon notation. What does that mean? The double colon operator, yeah. I always forget. In this quick, okay, we'll discuss from lambdas to double colon. Oh, so it's a shortcut from a Java lambda expression to even shorter, to double colon. Okay. With lambda's expression, we've seen the code. We can, very concise. For example, we can create a comparator. The following syntax is enough. Comparator C1, C2, C2, comparator. Okay. Then with the type interface, All right. So it's a comparator operator. Basically, all it does is, it doesn't compare. No, because it's adding. So it's just doing whatever this is saying to do. Okay. So we have an add function that is here within our set to add this to the set, which we're telling it to do each time it finds a new user, adds it to this user set. So cool, nice. All right, so that's that done. Let's continue on. So I guess we could write this find by ID, right? It'd be easy enough. So we need to create a user. User repository, excuse me, find by ID, and then we'll just pass the UUID. Then we have to do something weird. We have to use the .or else operator here, and or else nothing is going to happen. That's it. We just type null, and we respond with deleting this whole line here and going to the front and hitting return. Well, not hitting return, but typing the word return, because we should be getting a user through our user repository, and then we'll return that back because we specify right here that's what we want. We want our user. So we're going to continue on and do save. All right, so save. Ooh, let's do return user repository dot save, and then we want to pass it the object in which we save. So object, and that's it. Easy enough. And then now to delete. Delete's pretty easy as well. For deleting, we don't actually, since it's void right here, so specify that right here, so we're not going to actually have to return anything. We can just do user repository dot delete and then pass it the object, and that's it. And then delete by ID is user repository dot delete by ID, pass it the UUID again, and that's it. So boom. Now all of our stuff. Now, while not connected to anything or doing anything, whenever we're ready, we're going to be able to use our user repository, which we're going to go back to here, which extends our CRUD repository, which is why we're allowed to then use save all, find by ID, allows us to have access to that stuff. So it'll do it, like I said, on its own, and we don't have to really go in there and do that ourselves. So that's pretty nice, I like to say. Poor dog, I'm watching him snore and shake like crazy. And he used to be an outside dog, so he sleeps with his eyes open and just moving. It's kind of creepy, just a little bit. All right. So let's continue on. What is next on the agenda that I need to do here? You know what? We can. I need to make like a to-do list and just start checking all this stuff. And I could just do it on GitHub and do it that way, but honestly, I don't feel like it at the moment. I guess I could, just to make this a learning experience for people. Come in and assist how you use GitHub and all that stuff. I'll do initial commit once I get like a little further, I guess. It's not a big deal. There's definitely nobody on learning at the moment. So and if they are, they should come in and say something so I can say hello, because I want to say hello to my viewers. Anyway, let's continue on here. Okay, so double quotes or the double colons called a method reference. All right, man, I feel like I'm losing concentration here, but that's working now. I feel like I can create some more views and stuff, because I'm going to need to user creation under auth. I'll do that under these auth. Yeah, so instead of we don't always just need log in. We'll do a new HTML file. We'll call it create account, or create user. No, could just do it. Yeah, just do create account, and then whenever we go to do one for whenever they want to apply for a course creator, I'll do HTML file. do create account, sign up, or just creator sign up. Because you're not going to automatically be able to be a creator. There's going to be a process in which you're going to have to go through. And the first thing is just using, or just recording some audio, and then we'll be like, hey, this is good, or hey, this is bad. Please try and recreate or improve your recording, and we'll let you know, or and try again. That kind of a thing. So creator sign up, and some of that stuff we might even be able to just do with some Java, especially like just seeing if it's super staticky or not. If there's a lot of background noise, we can definitely probably use Java and Java's audio library to do something with that. At least it'd be super cool if we could. I don't know if we can, but I'd like to try at least. Okay. Creator sign up, create account. See here, I don't need a logout page. Yeah, I guess we'll just do create account. So the first three things, what I said, first name, last name, email, right? So we'll do form. We'll actually do, we'll just do a form right now because it doesn't really matter. Action, create account, method, post, label for the F name, input, text, name, F name, ID, F name, make a copy of that, and this one will make L name. And the last one will be for email. Oh my goodness, I cannot spell. There we go. And then we'll need a submit button. I should probably put this, so see here, go back to security, web security config. We'll also add, hush, good. I know there's an error. All right. / We'll just call it create account. And then within our auth controller, we'll do at request mapping / create account public string create account return auth / create account. I broke it. Damn it. What did I break? How did I break it? Error creating bean with the name user repository defined and enabled JPA depositories cleared on JPA registrar. Okay. Not a managed type. I'm not doing something here. A legal argument exception, not a managed type. Where did it go? Models. Yeah. Okay. Oh. I think I'm not setting this as an entity. Not enabled entity. Which I know you'd be hard pressed to figure out. Yeah, hard pressed to figure out why. I knew that, and I probably would have been too for a while, except for I was looking at some old code, and I was like, oh, I don't have this entity annotation, so let's take a look and see what this entity annotation does. So for the JavaX persistence, let's do Java Entity Annotation. I guess this is a JPA Entity Annotation. What is the exact meaning of the JPA Entity Annotation? The Entity Annotation defines that a class can be mapped to a table, and that it is just a marker. For example, serializable interface. And why entity annotation is mandatory? Well, is the way how JPA is designed. When you create a new entity, you have to do at least two things. And our model information is an entity. I guess that's what it's saying. I call it something. That's what we're going to call the entities. Create an ID field and annotate it with ID, which that happens in our base entity, and then we're just extending that base entity so it has that. Anything else is optional. For example, table name is derived from the entity class name, and therefore the @table annotation can be optional. That's nice. Okay, but we're gonna @table that because users is good. Tables columns are derived from entities variables, and therefore @column annotation can be optional, and so on. JPA is trying to provide a fast and easy start to developers who want to learn / use this API, and giving developers option to configure as few things as possible to make something functional is one of the ways how API wants to achieve this easy to use / learn goal. Hence the entity annotation together with ID annotation is the minimum you have to do in order to create an entity. All right then. Well, it's working now, right? So it's back to our course creation software. Yeah, everything's looking good. So let's go create account, and boom, that is working nicely. All right, so first name Shay, last name, my last name is Buckner. We're gonna do develops though, because it's way cooler sounding. I think about changing my name to develops. Yeah, I like it. All right, email shaydevelops@gmail.com, and when we hit submit, it's gonna go right to our database, right? Absolutely not. It's gonna go to login, I guess. Whatever, it doesn't matter. It wasn't gonna work anyway because we don't have some stuff set up. But I wonder if this is gonna work, and then I'll tell you my thoughts if it works or not. /h2 console. Ah, it's telling me to log in. I can't even go look at my console. Oh man. So the user. Yeah. Oh, that's so good. It locks down the H2 console as well. Okay, so whenever you're using H2, and you're creating your databases and all that stuff. We haven't actually created any databases, but it creates one for you, and you can connect to it. And you can connect to it by looking through, whenever you run your application, this smorgasbord of information here. So let's make this a little bigger. We'll have the H2 information that you need to connect to it. So let's see if we can find it here. Yes, it's an H2 console available at h2console.com. Here's the database. So we can copy this and JDBC URL. So we can just go right there. And then our username. Looking for the username. Unable to start live reload server. Yeah, well. Can I just connect? No? Test connection? No? I don't know. What is the... Usually it tells you what the username and password is right here. Let's do H2 database, no, H2 console username, password. Spring Boot. Oh, it's just saying it's got essay and oh, okay. So we need to set this out within our data. Okay. So in order for this to work, hold on a minute. Forbidden. Oh well, not really worried about it because it's not super need to know basis at the moment. However, I need a little bit of a break. I'm gonna grab some water because this Rockstar energy drink is God, it's gonna be so tough to drink. I need some water to wash it down with. Oh, but anyway, I shall be back shortly, and in the meantime, chill out. Take a break yourselves. Hey buddy, how you doing? Hey guys, I'm back. Alright, just checking up on my stocks and stuff. Because, you know, got this GameStop thing going on. I'm not watching the news right now, but I really want to get up on that news. But right now, you know, I'm coding, building, you know, because I got a business I got to work on at the same time. Because I am no savvy stock developer. I'm not the guy who figured out that GameStop was going to get shorted like it did. And then the power of Reddit. Oh my goodness. Sorry, I had a little coughing fit. I had to mute the mic. But I think it's just amazing what was going on with all that. So I'm pretty sure there's so much hype going on with there that I'm not gonna get much hype on my developer peoples, but yeah, it's all good. All right, let's see here. What can I do next? What have I done? What was I doing? Oh yeah, sorry. We were looking for that H2 console username and username and database stuff, which we can set up through the application.properties. Hold on a second. All right. Sorry about that. Jeez, I had some sneezes and sniffles going on. All right, so we were doing that. It didn't work out. Whatever. It doesn't really matter. It's there, doing some stuff for us, and whenever we get more into it, we'll figure it out. And I'd probably go in more detail if it was actually people here listening. All right, but this is still good for me. All right, let's see here. I need to. Oh yeah. Let's see here. What was it? Course? No. Create account. Yeah. So we did that. And we go to a white labeled error page for / create account. Again, I don't know why. It doesn't really matter. But that's should be done there. Now we will have like email validation and all that stuff set up and sending emails and all that good jazz, but we're not worried about that at the moment. And then our type, we're just gonna leave it. Well, you know, yeah. You know what? We'll go. You know what? I could just have some JavaScript that if they click this, it'll show them the rest of the information that they want, that we'll need if they want to create a course creator account, which won't be too much more information really. So I'm going to put that in there, and then I'm not really going to put much else for that, though, at least not for now. There's going to be more for that later. So back to create account.html, do label, we'll call it just type. sign up for course creator account. We'll do input. This really just should be a checkbox. It's either yes or no. So I forgot how to do a checkbox. Input type checkbox. Oh shoot. Input checkbox. There's got to be more to it than that. Input type checkbox. And then you can give it a label. Oh, okay. So we'll do ID. Course creator. Name. Course creator. Value. Yes. And just to just to at least spend. Well, you know what? I'm not gonna put it in there because I'll have to do it. You know what? Screw it. I'm doing it. Put in a line break between each of those, so that way at least they get put onto a different line. There we go. Nice. All right, so now that that form's basically done, what I want to do next is do I want to do validation? Do I want to build out the creator that they can use? Do I want to add some I think I'm going to build out the model a bit more. I feel like that's what I want to do before I want to move on. All right. And then after I finish, at the end of the stream, once I exhaust myself, I'll probably go into GitHub, submit this all to Git as the initial commit, and then create a to-do list on the next stream. Or the end of this stream, whatever. And go from there. All right, so model Java class. This is going to be for courses. Now, there's definitely going to have some connections to the user in more than one way. Right, like, because you're going to have courses that the user has purchased and then courses that the user has created. So we need to look at both of those aspects, right? Which is not that big of a deal, but we need to make sure that we're figuring out how we're going to create those, like our database structure, right? Because we're definitely probably going to have a many-to-many relationship of some sort. You know what, we'll just put course for right now, and then I want to open up Paint. And then now, okay, so we have So you've got our user. This looks like dog crap. Okay, user. And then we have our course, and each of these is a table within our database. And the users can connect via two ways. Like I said, one, if they purchase the course, and then two, if they've created the course. They're going to have two different connections, right? With that, based off of where they are. So we need to be able to separate our purchases from our created courses within the database. So I got to think, like, how do we want to do that? So because a database, because whenever you're creating a database, you want to think about the relationship. And I assume within Postgres, it's the same. You're going to have a foreign key and all this stuff, and you'll have connections to them through foreign keys. So like that was our UUID, right? UUID. That totally looks like WID. Yeah, well, that looks no better. Anyway, so our UUID of the user is going to connect to the UUID of the course, and the based off the user's UUID. Okay, so be C U I D. That's going to be the creator UUID, and that'll be passed to the course. And then so if you purchase it, this user will need to have a list of purchases. So we could do, and that'll probably be okay, so a user can have many purchases, but a purchase cannot belong to many users. So we need to think about it in that aspect. So if a user can make many purchases, we need to, I don't want to do that because basically it's no longer the course that we're looking at, it's purchases, right? I don't know if that's what we want to call it though. Yeah, so purchases will have their own UUID, and it'll be connected through the course. Because a user can have many purchases, but a purchase can only belong to one user. But purchases can have many courses, and courses can belong to many purchases. So there's a many-to-many relationship there. So we have to think, so that we're going to have I forget the name of the database, but we're going to have a many-to-many relationship. So we have a kind of like a middleman database. So there's going to be like a database right here that connects this to this. And this is that many connection. So that database here is going to just store it should just store the course ID and the purchase ID. I'm usually better if I draw this out on a piece of paper so I can actually. I don't know why this is any different. Why am I drawing a brain fart here on why I can't connect these two? Because the user to course, that's easy because a user can create many courses and purchase many courses and can view all the courses. But a course can only belong to one user, but can be purchased by many. So that's what we're trying to do here. Okay. So, all right. So with our course, and then purchases. So we'll have a. I forget what the name of this one is called. Let's look up Postgres mini to mini relationship. Okay, so it looks very much. Postgres looks very much just like MySQL, and its naming convention is the same. So it's going to be bill product. Okay. You see the foreign keys and build product create both cascade changes on update. Okay, yeah. See what you. That's what I'm basically trying to figure out. There is this part right here. Why did they call it bill product? Because there's a naming there's a naming convention for that. It's intentional, and I just don't know. And it's not between, because the user can have many purchases, but purchase can only belong to one user. So that's fine. It's between the course and the purchases. So we need to figure out, we'll call it, I think it's course purchase. There we go. In which we'll have the UUID of both of these. So we'll have to figure out how to create that later, but that's fine. No big deal. Fun stuff, because yeah, it's developing to all about problem solving and all that good jazz. So let's see here. Just gonna minimize that for now. Oh yeah, that's right. We're creating this. So this is going to implements base entity, or is it extends base entity? Extends base entity. That's right. Because it's not an interface, so it doesn't implement it. So I'm already drawing a brain fart. It's getting I'm getting tired. Yeah, I need all of this jazz. Throw it over here. This will be called courses. Cannot result. Yeah, I don't care. All right. So they're already going to have an ID, which is fine, but we will need the creator ID. So that'll also be a UUID as well, unless we want to just save it as a string and convert it and just compare it to the string. You know what? We'll do UUID first. We'll just see how it works. So at column name equals, like my lovely weird ass accent right there, equals what do we call this? CID, like creator ID. Maybe we'll just actually do like we'll call it creator ID, and then what is it? Private UUID. Creator ID. So we have creator ID. We'll have column name title. Column name description. See here, we data type larger than string Java. Oh, well, never mind. So string's fine. All right, string description. And there's definitely going to be more to these courses. Like, you're going to be able to move sections of these things around, and they're going to have assets that we're going to need to add. So it's going to get a bit more involved. So I might have to go down and like really write everything down as I create it, or just build it as we go. I mean, really, like, who cares? Like, as long as it gets finished and I know what's going on, by the end of the day, it shouldn't really matter too much. So for now, we're going to keep pumping until I feel like I need to go to the store and get some more, get some energy drink or some sort or whatever, because getting a little on the sleepy side. All right. So now it says we've done that with the courses. We need to do that with the repository and create a new course repository interface, which will basically just grab that, paste it, change user to course, remove that. Should be all we have to do there. Create a JPA. I wonder what that create JPA entities was. That was kind of cool. I have to look into that. All right, this one will be course JPA. And we're just going to, well, not copy that over just yet. But we will be implementing the service. So we need to create our service. We'll just call it course service. And it'll be an interface. Which I'm pretty sure, yeah, we're just going to extend that CRUD service. But instead of user, we'll do course. And then now when we come back up here to our course, our course JPA, yeah, we just want to implement the course service. And it's not going to be happy with us because it needs to implement all the methods. There we go. And then now basically we're just going to do the same thing that we did on this page. We're going to do it over here. So I could just copy and paste a lot of this and just change the word users to course. But instead I want to recode it because it's nice to, like I said, go over things again so you're more inclined. So just by doing that, I probably would have forgotten that I need to add my course repository, and I'll probably actually also need to add the owner repository to this as well. Because I'll probably want to add different methods to this course creation. Like I want to find by the name, and or I want to find by the course creator, or if I want to find by date created, that kind of stuff, or date updated, date modified, whatever. Those are definitely going to be things I want to keep in consideration while I create this. So let's get in the course repository. Forgot it's private final course repository, and then private final user repository. and the constructor parameters to make it all happy, and there we go on that. Now for find all, like I said, we want to find all the courses, so it's going to be a set of T. Can I use T? No, we're actually going to use course. Set of course, courses equals new empty hash set, because I like creating an empty hash set, because with Java sometimes you can get some weird things that could happen if you don't do this. And then from here we are going to do course repository dot find all dot for each courses add, and then return courses. All right. And then for find by ID, we're going to do course repository dot find by ID, pass it the UUID, and then dot or else null. That's right. So we don't get that error right there. All right. And then I started scratching my foot. I don't know if you can hear that. And then from here, we want to save. So we don't need to. No, we're returning course. That's right. So it's course repository dot save, and then just pass it the object, and that's it. And then delete. It's a void, so we're not returning anything, but very easy. Delete, pass the object, boom. And then delete by ID, course repository dot delete by ID, pass it the UUID, and that is it. We have done it, right? So, where do we want to specify things like find by the, well, you know what, we're not going to worry about that now. We will in a later podcast, or not podcast, but a later streaming. I'm not sure what I want to do next. So many options. Let's go back to our views here. So we have this course creator. We have this builder, right? We could create a form, or its action will be create course, method post, be label for, what was it, the title, right? Input type text, ID title, name, title. We're already going to have the author, so that'll just be whoever's creating it. It'll be the user. Title and description, I guess. Yeah, just title and description for now. Okay, so this will be for description. Okay. So that's built out a little bit there. Let's see here. What else can we do? Oh, I had a person in here for like a half a second. That's nice. I'm looking for like easy, low-hanging fruit to do because right now my mind is a bit tired, and I plan on staying up for a while so I can actually like crash out and then get up and start streaming at like a fairly decent time. So after I'm done streaming, I'm probably gonna go get some food, watch stuff, and play video games until my body's just too exhausted, because developing's tough work, and if you're doing it tired, you can easily make mistakes, which is, it's fine, you can fix them, it's no big deal. But you usually make mistakes, you get fatigued, hard to concentrate, and keeping up talking at the same time, because I've had some people in here like coming and going just every once in a while, but super once in a while. It's not like I'm over here talking about GameStop and the short squeeze with all that good jazz, which would be cool if I was. I mean, I'd like to be, but I just don't know enough about the information. So I am curious. How's my silver doing? Oh, I know. It's only up 8.3%. It's down 4% since I last checked it. If it goes down to like $8 or $9, I'm gonna buy quite a bit more. Oh, my wife texted me. I wonder what she says. Oh, no, it just says backup paused? What? Backup of what? Oh, my chats? I don't need backups of my chats. But thanks, though. Alright. So, my silver stock is... Well, not even my silver stock, because I bought silver. Hey, what's up, Aim Shock? How you doing? Let me check out my other stock. I don't expect to be making any money. Nokia's up. That's nice. Everything else is down. Yeah, it's all good. So how you doing, Aim Shock? You working on anything? Here to learn? Just I like your little developer tag for your avatar. That's nice. All right, so what's the next thing I'm trying to feel like building here? Because there's definitely going to be way more to this course creator, because there's going to be drag and drop stuff. There's going to be validation. There's going to be emails. There's going to be, oh, jeez, there's just so much. My brain just doesn't want to focus on anything at the moment. But, oh, I lost one of my viewers, which was me. Aim Shock left too. Peace, bro. It was a pleasure. All right, let's continue on. Let's see. I guess we should set up our controllers, right, to accept these form inputs. It makes sense, like a reasonable thing to do. So in order to do that, setting up our controllers, it's not too bad. Alright, so our owner controller, or no, sorry, user controller, see here. Where do we want to do this? That's right. Okay, so back to our let's do back to our auth controller. Because we don't have this create account thing going on. So we'll also need to do a post to our database. So I'm curious with the, because we used Spring Boot security, it didn't say anything about the way it created. But you know what? Let's not do that now. Let's work on the controllers for the course creator. Well, no, we actually need to work on it for the user creator first. So we'll do, I guess that's auth controller, because there's going to be passwords and all that good jazz worked on. So that's the create account. So we also want to do a post mapping. for at request mapping. Create account. Public. Yeah, public string. So you still have to return wherever you want to redirect to or whatever after this is all done, I'm pretty sure. We'll call this create account. And I assume we're going to pass the person or the user So I might have to, let's see, user. You know what? I'm just gonna go over here and just Google it. See here, getting creating controller for post mapping. Sure. Yeah, we don't need get mapping, we need post mapping. You know, where's just post mapping documentation? There we go. That's what I want. Oh, you can do at request mapping method post instead of post mapping. Oh, okay. So it's just a compose. Okay, it's a shortcut for. Gotcha. Request mapping that consumes headers, name, parameters, path, produces, value. Okay. So we're passing what? The user, right? Whenever we create this account. But I feel like I'm missing something. Let's see here. Getting data from form spring. I don't care about all this. post mapping, get mapping. Oh, okay. I think we're fine. So instead of, I could just use get mapping. Well, that's nice. All right. Okay, so this is saying use at model attribute annotation. So at model attribute, so course, right? Yeah, course, model. Bring the model in. All right. I erase some of these things I'm not using at the moment. Okay. And now from here, we can return complete or some trash like that. We'll just leave that for right now. All right. Okay. Gonna continue reading here. The mapping annotations. The mapping annotations let you map HTTP requests to specific controller methods. The two methods in this controller are both mapped to /greeting. You can use request mapping, which by default maps all HTTP operations. I don't mind what I did. The change I made. I think it's a little bit easier to read too. The greeting form method method uses a model object to expose a new greeting to the view template. Okay. Model.add attribute. So we'll do model dot add attribute course dot just course. No, because it's gonna have to be we're gonna have to be multiple attributes. It's gonna be course dot get title and model dot add attribute. Course dot get description and model dot add attribute course dot get creator ID, which will be which I'll just pass through whoever's logged in. And then all right, go back up. More to read, apparently. Okay, we created our web controller. We've got this. All right, let's see here. So we're doing model.add attribute. Where did I see that? Why was I doing that? Okay, because they're right there. That's right. All right, so scroll down, scroll down. Oh. I'm sure there's a lot wrong with this because I know you don't have the database connection and stuff set up properly, so it doesn't really matter at the moment. Alright, so we'll do create account. Shay Buckner, Shay develops. Boom, and it wants me to go to login. Oh, because of Spring Boot Security. Alright, however, let's bypass that. Where's security? There we go. Well, I guess once you created an account, you would then be authenticated. So how? I don't know. I might call it quits at this point and go on because I don't really want to mess this up. It's not messed up now. It's totally fine now. But I do need to come in here and configure this web security stuff a bit more than what it is at the moment. So, yeah, because I need to look up how to make your something authenticated whenever you're creating a user. But until then, I think I'm gonna bounce out of here, everybody. So I appreciate it. It's been a lot of fun, but I've got some personal stuff I got to work on, and that, like I said, I got to stay up for a while so I can wake up at like a decent time and try and get on a routine, really, because I want to get up, have a good workout, and then get to streaming by about this time. But have, because it's 6:30 in the morning for me because I live in Hawaii, but get to streaming by this time at the latest. So yeah, so I'm gonna try and just stay up for a while until yeah, it's crash out time. So anyway, all of you guys, I really appreciate those of you who came around, and take care. Peace.